Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and this is the BlockCast.
We're Lego fans. Click.
We wanted a place where we could take our love for Lego and share it with the world. My name's Tom. I'm originally from New York City, and I started playing with Lego around 7 years old. I got it as a birthday gift, and I thought it was great because you could take a toy, right? You would get a toy for a gift, play with it for a little while, get bored, completely disassemble it, bring it all back together and completely make something else, and it was your choice on what you got to be. Anything at all. And it was up to you, and you didn't need instructions. And you could take two pieces and turn it into anything that you wanted. And that's why I truly enjoyed Lego. Even past my childhood, I still now as an adult will stand in Target just in the Lego aisle and stare at all the new sets. Now, granted, Lego is not for children anymore. It is for adults, and for those that are over the age of 99, well, I feel sorry for them. Now, don't we, Josh?
Very,
Now,
very much so.
now I'm not the only one on this show. Let me introduce you to my excellent co-host, my really good friend, Josh.
Hi. Thank you, Tom. As you said, I am Josh. I haven't beat a little bit on when I started my obsession with Lego. I was 6 when I got my first set. I don't remember the reason for it. I was rather spoiled, so it could be really just because it was a Saturday. I don't know, but I have fond memories of those early sets and just the joy of getting to build something, following the instructions the first time, because what else are you going to do? And then getting to play with it. You're building your own play set. And as a typical red blooded young boy, I liked explosions. And the great thing about Lego is they could explode. Pieces could go everywhere and simulate that joy of just, and I could just put it back together again. I didn't break a toy. I just disassembled it very, very fast. And it took a lot of the energy that I had pent up inside of me, and it put it into something that has turned into a lifelong passion. Now, I don't like explosions so much anymore. They kind of terrify me a little bit because it's too real. But the idea of building something and then using those pieces to build something else, and it starts from something so small, turns into something so amazing. It's fascinating. It's how I now relieve my stress. If I have a bad day at work, I come home, I build Lego. And it I might follow the instructions sometimes, other times I'll do an MOC, which stands for something that I can't remember right now, but it'll be on the screen here when I remember it later. And it's therapeutic. And as I said, it really has become a lifelong passion. And now, meeting Tom, getting to share that passion with him over so many hours talking and everything, we just want to share that with all of you. So welcome
Yeah.
to the Blockcast.
Welcome to the Blockcast, everyone. And now, the Blockcast isn't just going to be talking about our favorite sets, but it's going to include a lot of different things from the sets that we enjoy to the sets that we might not so enjoy, to the sets that are brand new, to the sets that are retiring, to the new Legoland that's opening, to the new Lego film premiere. It's going to be a place where we can fully express our love for Lego, but also be a place where anything Lego can be talked about, right?
Absolutely. And to really embrace the creativity of it too. So there may be times when we engage in, I don't know, what do you call them, challenges?
Ooh,
Building
yes.
building battles? What do you want to call those?
I don't know, but I was a big fan of the show Junkyard Wars, and then I learned Josh was a fan of the show
Love
Junkyard
that show.
Wars, and we came up with the idea of what if we were to have a competition base. Now remember, this is not going to be every episode. These are going to be our specials. This is going to be fun. We're going to get to build Lego with you as well, where the challenge will be where Josh and I will live film ourselves building something, and you get to choose who's built the better model. But we'll randomize. No, it's gonna be this guy. It's who's gonna have the better model. But the best part about it is we get to enjoy playing with Lego,
With Lego.
and no instructions needed to get you introduced to us. We thought, as our very first segment, we decided that we wanted to share some of our first sets with you. And what we wanted to do is talk about them a little bit. Now, to set you up, for those that are listening on podcasts, if you tune into our YouTube channel, I'm going to be putting some of the photos and imagery of the sets so you can see a visual of what we're talking about. But for those that are listening, we're actually going to try to describe it so you can pretty much picture it or try to remember it from your childhood. Uh, Now, the first set that I ever received, I actually got it for my birthday. I was thrilled. I didn't even ask for this specific set. My mom thought it was time for me to have Lego, and I wanted Lego, but I wasn't very specific. So she decided to get me Lego 6442 Stingray Explorer. Now, the Stingray Explorer was a part of the Diver set released in 1997. It contained a submarine, a portion of seafloor with a small reef, a manta ray, and 3 minifigures, including 2 divers with various equipment. Now, this was great because it was so small. Now, granted, up until 7 years old, I was used to Lego Duplo. I had large Lego. I really didn't get into the intricacies of small Lego. Granted, remember, if you're smaller, you might eat it and swallow it, and you don't want to do that. I totally understand. But when I got that first little minifigure that was going to fit inside the submarine, I thought it was the coolest thing that you could move the arms and the legs. And it was its own little, like, small world you could build. And when I built it myself, granted, it took me a while, my first set. I remember sitting on the floor, well, laying on the floor and just building it. Once it was complete, I had a toy. I had built my own toy. And the great part about it is after you play hours and hours and hours of your own little adventures, and the great part about it is that since it was a submarine set, I brought it into the bathtub. And I did all these submarine adventures. Now, granted, Lego isn't the greatest if it goes down the drain, but I don't think I lost any pieces. I probably did. Was that once you're bored with that toy, is that you can go ahead and disassemble it and then realize that you can build anything else. So I took that submarine, took one of the little minifigures, and I built a suit of armor for it. And I used the arms of the submarine that was used to get the wildlife as a suit of armor. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I had so many other pieces to do something with. And that was my very first set. I didn't get any other sets for my birthday. It was very small, it was intricate, and I absolutely loved it. It was my favorite set, and I still have all the pieces. I just have to find a Lego minifigure, and when I do, I will bring it to show you. Right?
And it wasn't just you that had those ideas of doing the mech creations, right? Now there's a whole line of Star Wars,
See?
Marvel, various other themed mechs that
Should
do
I
you
get
get
some kind
royalties
of
from that?
commission? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do I get royalties
Yeah.
from that?
Hey
I
Lego,
should, I should, I should.
hook 'em up.
Hello? Hello? No, maybe one day. One day.
Yeah. Once our viewer counts up, I think then maybe.
Yeah, I think that would help. So if you go ahead and subscribe if you are enjoying the very first episode of the BlockCast. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that set. Josh, what was your first set?
I have no idea. I know that there was three that I know that I had all around the same time, but the one that stands out to me, the one that I most vividly remember, is the Sheriff's Lockup, set 6755 from the Western series. Now, this set was so cool to me because, as I mentioned before, I liked when things went poof. And this one actually came with dynamite. It was a component of the set that the bad guy gets locked up in the sheriff's little jail cell, and his accomplice comes along with a little stick of dynamite. It was a printed brick that you would stick in, and there was a spring-loaded Technic tension rod that would blow the side out of the sheriff's holding cell. And actually, not even in preparation for this, I was cleaning my house and I happened to find the sheriff's
Yes!
lockup, complete with three of the original minifigures. The fourth minifigure, I have his head. Not sure what happened. Some bad stuff happened behind the scenes here. Maybe there's a reason that he's in lockup. I don't know. We're gonna ignore that. But here he comes. All right, you see his little dynamite there. and he will take that dynamite. He's going to plug it in the back of the jail cell, and boom, he's free.
That's
Great
awesome.
set. Love it. Vivid memories. I have disassembled and reassembled this set so many times. I could probably do it by memory because naturally, when he breaks out, they go and they attack the sheriff's office. This whole thing. Just, we all know the curse of the brittle brown. I wouldn't do it today. Back in the day, absolutely. This has seen some real action, and it remains one of my favorite sets because of just the play features that were built into it. It wasn't just bricks sitting on a plate that represented a house. It had its interactive elements, and that has become truly a hallmark of what Lego is.
Storytelling. It's as you said. It had meaning behind what you were playing with. And Josh, I just want to tell you this one thing. I am jealous that you got that set because after I got my initial set, you know when you went into the aisle as a kid, you know it's the aisle syndrome where you're like, ooh, what set do I want for my birthday or Christmas or and you're standing there. I remember the Western sets, and I never got any of the Western sets. So I'm very jealous of you, Josh, and you still have it.
I do.
Gonna
I
have to come
do.
over
And
and borrow it.
it's fun to just look back, right? It's a trip down memory lane.
And that's the one thing that for me, as far as Legos, is that I do have specific memories with specific sets. And the very next set that I got um, was the Secret of the Sphinx, and I'm gonna go ahead and put an image on the screen. Secret of the Sphinx 5978. Um, it was a part of the it was the Adventures Egyptian set released in 1998. Uh, and Josh can give you a little bit more info on the Adventures sets in just a moment. But
My favorite theme.
this was in 1998. It contained 342 pieces, 7 minifigures, Pippin Reed, Dr. Kilroy, Pharaoh Hotep, Skeleton, which I loved because of the flappy arms. That was my favorite thing. Sly Boots, Johnny Thunder. You'll hear more from Josh about Johnny Thunder in a minute. Baron von Baron. Now, the specific memory that I have with this set, it was Christmas Eve. Now, granted, you have a lot of Christmas Eves that are up here, right? This one stuck out to me because I got to spend a lot of time with my uncle. And he got me this set. And I remember sitting at my grandmother's dining room table, having the absolute best time building this with him. And we must have spent hours, not only with the building process, but he also played with it. Because this also had a popping out feature as well, where the Pharaoh would come out. But if you also look at the front of the image as well, there's also a feature that the ground comes up as well. So this was my first introduction to not only building Legos with family and friends, but also the hidden features of Lego sets, like Josh had with the Western set, where you had that piece that moved. My submarine set was very stationary minus the arms, but this was my first set where they had intricate pieces of movement. And I thought this was great. You can interact with a lot of scene. It's a scene almost like out of a movie. And you had the car and you had the little figures that they could all interact. And then I realized you also had a little tent, which was really cool, kind of made of the same material that they make a lot of the capes out of. That I realized when I took it home that I could play with my submarine figures with my Egyptian set. And I go, this is great. So your my Lego universe expanded that day, but the best part about it is that gave me memories of that Christmas that I had with my uncle that I'm probably never gonna forget. And it was a great time. And that's Josh, you're right. The storytelling helps, but it's also who you build it with as well.
Absolutely. And truly that leads me into another one of my early sets. I have the Time Cruisers uh series. The Hypno Cruiser was one of the other sets that I remember getting at a very young age. It was released in 1996 as well,
Hmm.
and it was a really interesting theme. The idea behind it was that the characters could travel through time, and their time machine was powered by various accessories. So, you know how many figures come with a hat and different things that they can hold and that sort of thing. The time machine was powered by that. So, if you put a cowboy hat in, boom, you're in the time of the Western. And you could go forward in time with a little alien helmets or ray gun or something like that. But the Hypno Cruiser was one of the sets. It was the time machine that the time cruisers used to travel through space and time. And I remember this set more vividly. It's one of the only sets that I can picture who got it for me and then building it with them. It was my cousin. I don't, again, remember the occasion. It was very strange. He was at our house. It wasn't a usual thing. We wouldn't often visit like that. But he was there and he had this set. We built it together. And we started just telling our own stories. And that became kind of a hallmark for me, is having that time and telling stories with Lego with my family, and it started me on a long journey of um, kind of collecting those components and just having the idea that I could travel from one theme to the other, and I think that's what made the Time Cruisers such an interesting theme. It didn't take just one. It wasn't just this is a western, this is space, this is under the sea submarine. It was everything, and it could take you from one universe to the other. It's that connection that brought Lego together. Um, that was then later explored in a lot of other projects. Lego Dimensions was a fantastic thing. We talked about video games a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I'm sure we'll talk about Lego Dimensions at some point, but I think the crux of that, the start of that, was Time Cruisers. And I think that growing up at that time was perfect for me to just unlock the creativity of everything that Lego would eventually become.
Now, I have a question for you, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the pieces that are in this set, if you take a look, well, you already know you have the set, but if you people at home that want to take a look, I'm noticing in this set compared to other Lego sets previous to this point in time, and this is 1996, that there is Lego Technic in this set before Technic was Technic officially,
Yes,
which is interesting, right? As far
it
as
is interesting.
integration, is that they test certain pieces and parts before they might become other lines.
Absolutely. And it stands very strangely within my own history. I am not, full transparency, a big fan of Technic sets.
I love it.
Um, but the components from the Technic sets make very good components for other. I mentioned the Technic tension rod was used in my Western jailbreak. And of course, the Hypno Cruiser used several other Technic components as well. That even if there isn't a theme or a series that you enjoy, the components that make up that could very well be something else completely different.
And you can choose whatever you want it to be. It could be decorative or it could be functional.
Absolutely.
And while you were chatting about your favorite, I actually found. Oh no, he's blurry. There you go. Oh no! Oh no! There he is. Oh no! And then I found my shaky arm skeleton man. They're so blurry. We'll figure it. We'll work on that. It's our first episode. Give us a little bit of a chance. So there. So if I hold them in front of my face, so I have
Yeah,
two of
perfect.
my minifigures that I could find, at least for that last set. The final set that I wanted to chat about today. Um, I remember building this for my then thereafter birthday. And this is where I started getting a lot more Lego sets for birthdays and Christmas because my mom caught on and my family caught on that I really enjoy it. Um, Let me give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Do, 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 do. We're talking about a UFO series. We are talking about Warp Wing Fighter 6915. It was a UFO set released in 1997. It's one of the larger UFO sets and contains UFO Red Droid and UFO Alien minifigures. So these were cool. I really liked these because they were very different. But the one thing that I really liked about this set, it wasn't actually the minifigures. I really like the transparent green pieces. There it is, everybody. Look at that. And Josh, could you show them the front of that ship? Look at those unique curved pieces. If you think about it, Lego 15 years earlier, you wouldn't have seen pieces like that. And that's what I found really cool because those are not stickers. Those are print on decals. Those do not come off unless you scratch them off. Those are printed on the piece. And when I got to play with this, I absolutely loved it. It was so cool because I had a piece that I could make fly. And I could take it in the bathtub again. I don't know. I digress. It could also be a submarine. You could be whatever you wanted it to be. That's the thing. It could fly, it could go underwater, and now I had something else to add to my Lego universe, my Lego community, and I could mix and match all the pieces. I loved taking these things apart and then building what I wanted. I probably built them once and then realized, I want to build what I want to build. And that's the way they still sit today. And I probably built hundreds of things with so many different interlocking pieces and sets that those pieces I could use for many different things. Right? That's the best part about Lego.
Absolutely. And I think that it's interesting that you brought up the clear green pieces because the last set that I remember, my earliest set, another 1996 set, set number 6899 is the Nebula Outpost. And while you could argue it lives in the same universe as your UFO series, but it was part of the Explorians series. That's Explore, but aliens mixed together, so Explorians. And it wasn't a series that I was overly familiar with, but another one to that really captured my imagination because of the colors, because of those transparent bricks of neon green and blue. This one had a lot of those kind of features in, and it also had one of the earliest examples that I can remember of decals, stickers, and the stickers were holographic, and that was so cool. I remember just staring at them and wiggling them back and forth, and just the image moves kind of, but it doesn't, and this is so neat. Um, and it was a fun set. It was not the most sturdy. So again, for my penchant for destruction, it was one that lent itself to rapid disassembly. And I I didn't know the story behind it at the time. I was 6. I made my own stories, and in my stories, the astronauts that were part of this were just out there and trying to avoid whatever terrible features space had threw at them, whether that was other Lego bricks or whatever other pieces of rapid decelerate disassembled sets I had lying around. You never know what gravity's going to do. But it was, I think those 3 sets together are really what ignited my passion for different reasons. And I think that elements from those sets we still see in modern sets today. And the 90s were just a good time
Oh,
for the
such a
Lego
good time.
company.
It took it from that generices of what our parents had, where it was just the idea of a Lego block and the afterthought of the minifigure, to then realizing what if we were to incorporate a story? What if we were very loosely? Because now the stories are very tight knit. Look at Ninjago, right? We didn't really have a Ninjago like that. I'd probably say the first iteration of a really tight knit storyline. And you're gonna not like this, but it falls under Technic, kind of. Look at Bionicle.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Absolutely.
that's what sold the figures was the story. That's what sold it. And plus it was cool because they could roll and then turn out to be a figure too.
That playability, and we've talked about how those elements are still popular today. I would
Yep.
agree that Bionicle is the earliest of the shared story
Mhm.
world of Lego, of its own thing, that it doesn't look like Lego, but it is. And those elements we see in the builds of the mechs that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That
And
that
and sometimes those older storylines, like our little friend, whose friend was Johnny
Come
Thunder,
back.
come back, right, Josh?
Absolutely.
Who's coming
So
back?
Johnny Thunder is coming back. Crash Crash, is that
I
lightning?
was,
No, it was Thunder. Johnny Thunder coming back with the Jungle Explorer, one of the new sets coming
yep,
out this month. One of the
yep.
93 new sets that are coming out this
Only
month, or that
93.
have come out. Only 93. How many sets did you have, Tom?
I had a lot, but I didn't have 93, and they're releasing that all in June.
All in June.
Yep,
All
yep.
this month.
So what we're
Because
gonna
when
do
it's
for
too
the
hot to play
next
outside, where do you go? You stay inside and you build Lego.
Yeah, for the next 3 hours here on the BlockCast, we're going to talk about the next 90. No, 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 no.
A three
We
hour tour.
no, we've decided that we can't talk about 93 sets. We love Lego, but we know that you have things to do and go places to see. So Josh and I have decided to pick our 5 favorite brand new sets that are being released in June 2024. And Josh, where do we begin?
I think we need to start with the Jungle Explorer. Johnny Thunder himself, I think, is a fantastic way to start. We'll start with one of the smaller sets that's releasing this month. Now, the Jungle Explorer series is part of the Lego City. It's an off branch of that, but it's a new group that, for those of you that like to collect minifigures, or more specifically, minifigure animals,
Mm,
this series is going to be great for you. Now, this particular set, Jungle Explorer, I'm highlighting specifically because of including Johnny Thunder for the first time in a really long time, but it also has an absolutely adorable red panda. It's so small, it's so cute. You can see it in the image that Tom's thrown up on the screen here for us.
yep.
It's a very simple set, but for um, for the simplicity of it, the detail is there. There's a map. It's capturing that same level of excitement that Tom and I had
He
and
has a
some
little
of our early
compass.
sets. It got a little compass. It's got wheels. Anything with wheels is fun because there's interactivity to chasing something that is rolling away from you. And again, the red panda is just so cute.
And it's interesting. They're releasing this under the city. Um, it's not under any kind of adventure series. This is actually being released under the city's line.
Mhm.
Uh, $11.
I can
It's not
afford that.
bad.
And I think
$11. It's not bad.
absolutely. And the other sets that we're going to highlight are not $11. There are many 11s of dollars.
No, this is the most. As I'd like to say, this is the most affordable set that we're going to be talking about today. So you better get out there and check out Johnny Thunder
In Jungle Explorer.
in Jungle Explorer. The next one that we did want to highlight. Let's take us out of Lego City and let's
Okay.
head to France.
France.
We're going to talk about Notre Dame.
Ah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
ah.
mm-hmm. If you could take a look, I went ahead and put up an image on the
Copyright Disney.
screen. We are looking at a set that is containing 4,383 pieces. If you are a Lego insider, you're going to get 1,495 credits for this. This is Lego item number 21061. Hey Josh, take a guess. How much does this set cost?
More than I currently have, for sure. This one's going to retail at $229.99 here in the US and other denominations of money elsewhere in the world for those of our
Correct.
international viewers.
Um, but to be honest, as far as a decorative piece when it comes to Lego, I really like this. I think it's done really well. I think the piece count is there. I think that, like, if you were to be a casual Lego fan, but a fan of like cathedrals or Notre Dame itself, or a fan of Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you wanted something as far as a shelf piece or something to talk about, I think it's great. I really enjoy that they also have stained glass in there. Not real stained glass, of course, but they did represent it. And then when you open up the model itself, the detail that went into it is exceptional.
And truly, that's true for all of the architecture series. Both Tom and I love to travel. The world is there, so go and see it. And one of my favorite
Mhm.
things to do is if there is a set that is based in a location that I'm traveling to or a destination that I've been, I love to get that, and I have a deeper appreciation of that location. The reason I'm so excited for the Notre Dame set is I did get to visit the Great Cathedral in Paris on a school trip many, many years ago. And I remember walking around the building, looking at the buttresses, looking specifically for the gargoyle of Quasimodo that's there, and looking at the detail of the Lego set. I don't know that there's going to be a little Quasimodo hidden anywhere, but those buttresses are there. And because it is such a display piece, you can look at it from any direction, just like we can walk around the cathedral and see all of those great details. Um, and it's one of the reasons why it's one of our top picks for June.
Yeah, the detail is there. The detail is there, not only for the Lego enthusiast, but for those that have a passion for travel. Like Josh said, I did have the pleasure of going to Notre Dame prior to its current construction. Um, and he's exactly right. When you see those gargoyles for the first time and they're as big as they are, and you get that view in every single direction, it's just incredible. So, especially if you travel there and they don't sell this at Notre Dame, when they do reopen, it would be kind of a sad point. At least if I was a kid, I would love to buy this if I was there. Right? How cool would that? It
Marketing,
does
Lego.
it does
Hello.
count as a carry on. It does count as a carry on. Um, but yeah, I thoroughly that is pick number two of the five that we are choosing for our top five of 93. 93. Still 93. Wild, isn't it?
Yes. It's crazy. But I think that for our third pick, we should do something similar to Notre Dame, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
that maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's a building with two towers,
Mm. Mm.
the two towers, perhaps.
Oh.
Lord of the Rings fans? Anyone? Whoa, whoa, Borrowed Uh,
You
the
pronounce it.
probably the most anticipated set of this release
It's
cycle
in, it's incredible.
is set 10333. And for our Lord of the Rings fans, this is the set that you have been waiting for, at least ever since Rivendell came out last year before, whenever that came out. Because this is the complementary piece. You go from the good of Rivendell to the absolute dark of the darkest parts of Middle Earth. And the fact that this set comes with so many great minifigures to help tell that story and to give that balance of good versus evil,
Yep.
it's just absolutely exciting.
Again, with this, Lego is not only appealing to those that like Lego, but Lego is also appealing to those that like Lord of the Rings in that story. As Josh was saying, with minifigures, there are 10 minifigures in this set. 5,471 pieces in total. And if you are an insider, 2,990 points. This is just shy of 3 feet. 3 feet!
It's huge.
It's smaller than a toddler. It's bigger than a toddler. It is. Like when you build this and you have a small toddler that is just learning how to walk, this is the first thing they're going to try to demolish.
Absolutely.
So
Just
build
like
on a
young
high
Josh.
shelf, people.
There's a reason this is an 18 plus set. That's right. Lego is no longer just for kids. Adults are welcome.
But it is incredible. I can't wait to see what people do with this because can you imagine? Not only do you get people that want to build this, but want to enhance it. Imagine the lighting kits that could go into this, right?
Absolutely.
So
The
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, just see the Eye of Sauron lit up is going to be phenomenal. But even without those light kits, this set is just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to probably look at other people build it because I don't have the space for it.
And also, what's that price point?
It's not low. We're looking at 459.99 USD.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
No,
I mean, you do get a lot of pieces though.
it's true.
Yeah,
For the price per piece count is very good,
yeah.
and the minifigures alone are worth that. I mean, not I wouldn't pay $450 for 10 minifigures, but the fact
That's why
that
we
they
have
come included
Bricklink,
with all the
everybody.
rest is fantastic.
I mean,
Very, very highly looking forward to seeing this set in person.
what could possibly top this set? And to be honest, what could possibly top it is, you know what it's going to be, Josh? It is the
Is it the
set
Return
that.
of the King?
No, we'll get to the Return of the King. The set that could possibly outdo this is one that features a small hot dog cart
Oh, I love a
with
hot dog.
even smaller hot dogs that Lego figures can hold in their hands.
I love a good Lego hot dog. One of my
We are
favorite
talking
accessories.
we are talking about the Lego delivery truck.
Now,
Yes.
we were talking about the return of Johnny Thunder a little bit earlier. The Lego delivery truck is another re-release to an extent. It's a reimagining
Yep.
of a previous set. And but what's really great about this is the set that brings all of the other sets to the stores because it comes with pallets of Lego city sets that you can build in little miniature versions. It is bringing that real world element of the Lego collector experience to full fruition. And in its classic yellow color, I think yellow probably is the color you think of when you think of Lego. I mean, it's in the logo, it's the color of most of the minifigures. A classic yellow castle, of course. The yellow of the delivery truck helps stand out, makes this piece just this set, I think, unique, right? It could just be a delivery truck, but it's a Lego delivery, a yellow Lego delivery truck. Is one of the reasons that, again, this one ranks up to the top of our anticipated list for June.
The reason I wanted to put this on the list is one, I enjoyed sets and toys like this when I was a kid. But what makes it for me is that it is functional as a toy. Meaning, and you can look at me as an adult, but I'm looking, when you were a kid, the big thing for me is that it had to be functional as a toy from the back of the truck to the front of the truck. It is functional. It functions like a truck. It pulls like a trailer. It is on a trailer hitch. The doors swing wide open. Now, granted, trailers don't necessarily do it in that fashion because it is to scale, so they can't put the forklift in the back, but they wanted you to have a functional play aspect, so they lift up the sides, and the forklift actually functions. It goes up and down and can slide in and pick up the pallet. And the cool thing about this, and just like with the red panda in that set with Johnny Thunder, is that the Lego block collector, the ones that want the specific unique pieces, those small sets, Josh, correct me if I am wrong, they are unique to this set. They don't appear in another set. Is that Lego sets as a piece do not appear like this in another set. The only question that I have, though, that I would need answered, are they stickers or are they print on pieces for the doors of this truck?
Well, I don't have that answer for you, Tom, but for just 99.99, you could buy the set to find out.
Oh, but Josh, I need to save you some money, at least in the United States, because you know what I saw at Costco the other day?
What's that?
The yellow delivery truck. And it was at $99.99.
What
It's a
was it,
little bit
Tom?
less. I think it was in that 70s range, 74 or 79. I can't remember. But I did
Well,
see
that's not
it, or
bad
somebody
for
did post about it on at Costco. I did go and I
well
did
for
verify.
1061 pieces. That sounds like a bargain, especially if there are some truly unique bricks that are included here in this phenomenally awesome
Yep.
set.
And if you are a Lego insider, you get 650 points. And this is
I'll take
Lego
it.
6044. And I do like that there's a space for the little driver when he needs to take a nap when he's not driving his truck. I also want to point that out too. That was pretty cool. I digress. That's too much detail for people, unless you are. And I did like that they added
And
the little
the
hot dog.
details are the best part, right? The joy of building a Lego is discovering these little hidden components and things that you may not know.
It's
It makes it fun, makes it exciting.
time for the King of the Jungle.
The King of the Jungle.
Hmm. And we're not talking Johnny
Or
Thunder here.
no, we're not
No.
talking Johnny Thunder, and it's not the
Mm-mm.
Return of the King. So it's not.
No.
What are we talking about, Tom?
What could it be? Go for it, Josh.
Hmm.
Let him know.
Is it something that's celebrating an anniversary this year?
It is.
30
It
years
is.
of
Yes.
The
What could it
Lion
be?
King.
There it is.
There it is. Young Simba coming in with set number 43247. Now, interestingly, there are two Young Simba sets releasing this month. There is a smaller version, but this is going to be a full-size brick-built uh, Young Simba articulated figure. Now Disney has come out with a couple of these sets already. You can see behind me up there is Mickey Mouse. Minnie is there. Um, Recently they released Stitch as well, but Young Simba from The Lion King is going to be another addition to this kind of sort of series, if you will. And what one of the main reasons why I selected this, we talked a lot about our early sets and those being sets from the 90s. We grew up in the 90s, and possibly the most quintessential 90s Hallmark film for us was The Lion King.
Hmm.
So to see Lego partnering with Disney to celebrate 30 years of 30 years. Wow, we're so old. Sorry, of the Lion King is really exciting. Um, I think one of the greatest things, and the reason that the Lion King just absolutely endures, is the expressions, right? Their characters. These are animals. Animation is something that Disney has done for a really, really long time, but with the Lion King, you feel for these animal characters. You are there, Simba, as he loses Mufasa, his dad. It's terrible, but the way that they are able to incorporate full expressions into animated animal characters was really cool. Definitely not the first time they did it, but it's done to full extent and potential in The Lion King, and Lego manages to capture that expression, just captured the joy, the innocence of young Simba. If you're looking at the details of the set, just in the face alone, they have done a phenomenal job of bringing this 2D image into three-dimensional life. And it doesn't necessarily have that playability as articulated. You can kind of move his head around. You may have seen some of the challenges where users have been swapping his head with Tuxedo Cat, also releasing this month. Um, and with Stitch that I mentioned before, it's weird, it's bizarre, but it's cool, it's fun, right? It's again incorporating the creativity of a set that isn't meant to be played with. It is meant to be a display piece, but you can find other ways uh, to be creative with it, I think.
Absolutely, and I completely agree. And people are already getting creative with it. You can change out Simba's head, and I find that to be absolutely hysterical. Lego is whatever you want it to be. And the best
Yes.
part about it is the bricks that we had when we were kids still work with the bricks that we can buy today. It is a universal toy that spans generations. Our parents even had them, but now we get to enjoy them to a whole new extent and beyond.
Mhm.
I'm excited for what this is going to be, at least the BlockCast, and I can't wait to share with you even more about when Lego releases things like what we had, where you can have a Notre Dame or you can have a big yellow truck. It's whatever your preferences could
Why
be.
not both?
Exactly. You could take Notre Dame and turn it into a big yellow truck and put wheels on it and make it just go. It's literally whatever you want it to be, and that's
Notre
what I
Dame.
think. Go Notre Dame. Check. That was good. Ah, and it can literally be whatever you want it to be, and that's what we want the BlockCast to be. Josh and I have a
Yes.
thousand different ideas for a whole bunch of different fun segments. It's not only us going to be covering new sets, old sets, retired sets. We want to talk about the history. We want to talk about the heritage. We want to talk about the company. We want to talk about the travel. You might even see us go to Legoland and ride something, or go to a convention or event. And that's what we want to bring to you. And just talking amongst ourselves about what our favorite stuff is and how cool it is. But we're excited to bring that to you. So be sure to click that subscribe button. Be sure to click that like button. If you have a friend or a family member that enjoys Lego, Josh, what should they do?
They should like and subscribe,
Yes,
follow,
exactly.
and watch.
And watch everything that we have. And know that if you want, we also have Instagram. I'll go ahead and post it here on the screen as well. But we hope to continue to bring you new and fun content in relation to the Lego world. And on my behalf and on Josh, um, we will look forward to seeing you next time right here on the BlockCast. And be
For
sure to
Lego
tune in.
fans, click.
Exactly. Have a great one, everybody, and thanks for watching.